Hello you lovely people and welcome. Today I will be doing a demo of the autopilot, navigation and of the flight plan in the Kwikflight B2. We're flying from RAF Coningsby simply because everything that I use for navigation, I know that definitely works, is around that area. So let's jump in the cockpit and get in the air. Okay, so first things first, we'll do the autopilot, like I said. So you've got your 5 switches across the top here. Your main autopilot on off is there. Heading hold will go to wherever the heading bug is pointing, so and that can be turned either left or right with this selector here. Once the autopilot is armed and you hit heading on, like I say, it will follow the heading bug. Nav we'll get to in a bit. Altitude on. There is no desired altitude input. You have to climb to your altitude and then you just press that and it will hold it. So that's pretty simplistic. There's no auto throttle. Approach mode, there are a few things you need to get right for that to work, and I'll show you those in a moment, as we are going to do just a quick demo of the heading hold, altitude hold and the approach. We'll do an ILS landing back at Coningsby, then we'll do some navigation, and then we will go and do a flight plan. So first things first, get the aircraft sorted out. Zero out the altimeter. Okay, come down to the FMC or FMS, whatever you want to call it. Now, one thing to note is that you cannot create a flight plan with this at the moment or add any waypoints. Everything has to be done pre-flight. So I don't know if that's going to change at some stage or not. That's up to Kwikflight and Inibuilds. So we're going to click nav, and you see we've got nav mode here, GPS, which we can do if we click up here and get our sort of GPS map up on here, if you really want to do it that way. Or what I'm going to do now, I'm going to input the ILS for Coningsby, which is 111.10. There's no enter switch, so you have to click to input it into the one you want. It tells you it's a localizer ILS, and it gives you the ident there, gives you the information there. And if we hit ILS here, we now have glide slope and localizer indicators, so we can do a manual if we wish. Next thing I'm going to do is turn the course needle to 251 on the runway heading. Important to know that to know your runway heading, so you can set the course needle to do an ILS and make sure it's pointing in the correct direction. This takes a little while. Okay. There we go. Okay, and the heading bug, I'm just going to stick that at 251, so that once we're up in the air, when I stick heading on, I don't want it to start swinging about in any old place. This should have been done before going onto the runway, but I'm purely doing this to show you. So we're ready to roll, so let's get this thing up in the air. Brakes off. Rotate. We're up. So we've got about 1,500-ish on the clock. Autopilot on, altitude on. Throttle back. Okay, and now we're going to switch heading on, and we're going to turn right. And we're going to head downwind to runway 25. As you can see, it's been a bit foggy in the UK this morning due to reasons, and what is probably known in the trade as absolute shite. So yeah, I think it's cleared at Coningsby, so we should be okay. And you can see we've got Coningsby here on the GPS, Waddington to our 11 o'clock, Cranwell to our 8 o'clock, and Barkston Heath to our 8 o'clock. So quite a lot of airfields jammed into a small area, but good for navigation. Okay, so we're doing 300 knots. I'm going to slow that down to below 250 to get the gear down. Once we're downwind, start slowing the aircraft down, and we'll get the gear down once we get onto base leg, as we're going to do a long ILS approach. Okay, so Coningsby's over there somewhere. Make sure that the nav mode is in GPS, not GPS, in nav mode, sorry. Nav mode in nav, not GPS. There is TACAN, there's GPS and nav. We want it in nav. You see we've got glide slope indicator there. So we're pulling further away from the airfield, it will raise. Another thing to add is that once these buttons have been pushed, you get green to tell you that it's active, and you'll see in a minute when I push approach, approach will show as amber. That means it's armed, so that when it's ready to lock onto the glide slope and localizer, it will turn green. Then altitude will change to G/S for glide slope, and you know that you've got a good approach. Now watch, it will go south because I've said that. We've also got a course deviation indicator here, acting as a localizer as well. When it gets to about 12 nautical miles, I'll do a base leg and we'll make our way in. Start slowing the aircraft down now. going to start turning in now. Heading at 150. Okay, and get the gear down. I'm going to throttle up slightly because once that gear comes down, the drag factor is ridiculous. See it anywhere, but it's out there, so out here somewhere. Okay, I'm going to turn that autopilot off just for a second. Turning in now. There is ahead of us there. So if I level out now, hit autopilot approach, and the approach has gone straight to active. Try that again. Activate. Okay, it's chasing the glide slope now. Throttle back slightly. We are slightly off the localizer there. don't want the speed to drop too quickly. That's a shame why I said it's a shame there's no autopilot, because not autopilot, auto throttle, because it would have made life a little bit easier. Okay, so we'll make this a touch and go, and we'll get on to navigation on the VLRs. Let's do our little touch and go. And we're down. Throttle back up. Go again. Gear up. Right, so we're cruising along around 5,000 feet, and I'm going to tune to Ottringham, which is 113.900. Come down to nav, make sure that's in nav mode, so that's 113.900, and we'll enter that in. Okay, so we've got our course needle, course deviation indicator has changed, we've got our ident and how far we are away from it. So I'm going to turn the course needle, see if we can intercept the course deviation, which seems simple enough, and then turn the heading to the same heading as the course needle, heading on. I think we may need to overshoot it ever so slightly. Yeah. Okay, so we'll overshoot it a little bit because we're chasing it. I still don't think that'll be enough. I think that will still cross over before we turn on to our heading. Yeah, so a little bit more. And then what I'm going to do, we'll travel to Ottringham, and then I will tune in Coningsby's TACAN 48 X-ray into the nav computer and switch the nav mode to TACAN, and it should take us back to the airfield. Pretty much bang on there. Now I'll speed it up to once we get to Ottringham, and then we'll change to TACAN. Okay, so 2 nautical miles away from Ottringham, so down here somewhere. Yeah, it must be over here somewhere. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to TACAN mode. TACAN, and we're going to put in. Okay, so we're going to move on to Flightplan. Unfortunately, I couldn't show you TACAN because for the life of me I can't work it out. If anybody knows how to use that to actually get to the TACAN of your choice, please let me know, because it just doesn't, it's not making any sense to me. It could be just me being thick, but it really doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Flightplan. Like I said, you can't make a flight plan or add waypoints from the cockpit. You have to do it pre-flight like this. So I've done a short flight plan from Mildenhall, Chatteris, Crowland, Holbeach bombing range. Should be nice and simple, so let's jump in and do that. So I'm going to get up to altitude, settle the aircraft, and then I will activate the altitude hold and also the main autopilot switch. Then I will click nav, as we have a flight plan loaded into the aircraft now. If we go to map and zoom out, you'll see that our flight plan is loaded in, so it's there to follow. What else am I going to do? That was another thing just to add, that you can in the flight plan you can do a direct to. So if you have proper waypoints, not custom ones like me, I can do straight to the custom ones. If I click that and then click activate, that will do a direct to that that waypoint instead of following all of this. So let's get airborne. Going to load up with bombs. Obviously we're going to bomb Holbeach once we get there, just as a complete the journey type thing. Okay, now that's ready. Right, let's get on our way. Throttle up. Brakes off. Rolling. Rotate. Gear up. Autopilot on, nav on, and altitude on. I'm going to throttle back slightly, and as you can see, it's all following the GPS. Nav mode is in GPS mode as well. Bottom there. Following the flight path. And I shall speed it up to when we get to Holbeach. Here's a little mood music for you. The sweet sounds of Raoul, everybody. There you go, that's the custom flight plan over and done with. So, I think I've covered everything on the aircraft. Like I said, if anyone knows what the hell is going on with TACAN, do let me know. I will look into that myself as well. I can't work it out for the life of me, so I apologise about that. But the rest of it, I hope you got something from, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.